coming to you from the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. This is the third day of competitions in your PNVF Champions League 2024. The arrivals of your both squads that are going to see action for our second game here today as the Signal HD Spikers take on the Philippine Army Lady Troopers. They will be playing their third game in a third straight day. Again, we welcome you inside this storied venue as we continue the action. We will start off with the women's side, and earlier today, Cherry Tigo crossovers defeating the CSB Blazers 3-1, and that sets us up for this good battle between Signal HD and the Philippine Army. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat, and thank you for joining us. Carlo Comentuan with Miss Denise Tan. Denise, Signal HD looking good, undefeated in their first two games.
Well, they are 2-0 right now, as you mentioned, looking good, looking consistent, and that is the most important thing that Coach Shaq De Los Santos wants to see in this match.
Very short tournament, so we will now take a look at our team standings to better appreciate where these two teams are and what they need to do to make it into the next stage. Signal staying undefeated at 2-0, Philippine Army at the bottom at 0-2.
And this is going to be important, Carlo, because as you mentioned, maiksi lang yung ating tournament right now. As we take a look at the tournament format, we do have 5 teams. There is going to be a single round robin. 4 teams, or top 4 teams rather, will advance to the semifinals. At pagdating do sa medal match games, knockout games lang tayo.
So yun nga, no, isa lang yung matatanggal from these 5 teams moving forward into the next stage. So even if you have lost your first 2 for the Philippine Army Lady Troopers, it's not all lost yet. Pwede ka pa makabawi because 2 wins could definitely send you to the next stage still.
So it is going to be an all-important game for the Lady Troopers as they not only try to bounce back, but of course, get up that standing.
And at this point, again, both these teams are playing their third game on the third straight day. So it's a matter of stamina of whoever used up their players a little bit better kung sino mas balanse yung mga nilaro in yesterday's game as well. That could play a factor, Denise.
Ngayon naman silipin natin kung ano yung nangyari in Signal's last game.
Yung maganda sa kanila, yeah, for Signal HD, they had an amazing performance against Petrogas Angels. And we're taking a look at some of the highlights. Of course, the main scorers will always be there for the Signal HD Spikers. They were tested a little bit. They defeated Cherry Tigo 3-0. Nasubukan sila ng bahagya nitong Petrogas, but they still won it 3-1.
Well, as you can see, Signal HD Spikers did drop that first set, but they bounced back quickly. Still a tight contest in the second to the fourth set, but Vanny Gandler as well as Riri Meneses took over that game, scoring 18 points each. Pero syempre, hindi lang naman sila. It was a total team effort, as you can see on the stats. Offense pretty much the same, just canceling each other out in terms of attacks. Blocking, defense was a #1 key for Signal in getting that game. And yung opponent errors is still on the side of Signal there. So with them limiting their errors, mas natapos nila na maaga yung game.
Si Don Makandili Katindig yung naging best player of that ball game because of her usual and tremendous floor defense. Lipat naman tayo sa Philippine Army Lady Troopers. It was a tough game for them. Yun nga, no? As they play their third straight game, you kind of wonder in what state they will be in today dahil ang haba nung laro nila kontra sa CSB Lady Blazers.
Well, that game did end in 5 sets. And again, you fight off not only the physical aspect of things, hindi lang yung pagod, but also the frustration of not getting your first W. As you can see, medyo dikit pa rin yung laban up until that 4th and 5th set kung saan iniwanan na sila ng CSB.
Tignan natin paano maghahanap ng bounce back performance itong Philippine Army Lady Troopers. The attacks heavily in favor of the Lady Blazers.
Well, that is really where they need to improve, set up a better offense, more dynamic plays, and probably avoid being predictable in this matchup, and that will be key naman for Army in this match.
Siyempre yung quality rin, Denise, ng mga first ball, ng reception itong Philippine Army to set up their offense. Lalo na, no, malalakas yung mga magsaserve coming from Signal HD, so that is a point that they will really have to improve on. We'll take a quick break sa aming pong pagbabalik. Umpisa na ng laban between Signal HD and the Philippine Army Lady Troopers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum, day number 3 of the PNBF Champions League 2024 Women's Division. We're at match number 6 of the tournament, featuring the Signal HD Spikers and their opponents, the Philippine Army. Introducing our officials for this match, our first referee is Jeff Lopez, WVB International Referee. Let's meet the starters first for the Signal HD Spikers. Outside spiker number 17, Captain Cesc Molina. Outside spiker number 1, Chai Blocker number 2, Roslyn Toria. Opposite hitter number 8, Chocolate Fernandez. Middle blocker number 11, Jackie Acuña. And starting center number 22, Jel Cayuna. Starting in the middle is number 16, Dawn Katindi. And the head coach for Signal is Shaq De Los Santos. And now the starters for the Philippine Army. Center number 17, Captain Corporal Jay Gonzalez. Outside spiker number 9, Private First Class Audrey Pahay. Opposite hitter number 14, Corporal Nene Bautista. Outside spiker number 15, Sergeant Ruiz Tubino. Middle blocker number 16, Sergeant Lutz Panaluan. And middle blocker number 21, Private First Class Jeanette Villarreal. Starting the middle is number 10, Staff Sergeant Angela Luna. And the head coach for the Philippine Army is Sergeant Randy Pamurina.
And here we go, the start of this matchup. As you can see, your starters, Cayuna, Fernandez, Troncoso, Doria, Acuña, Molina, with Dawn, Nicole, Makdili, Katindig as their libero on the other side. Again, yung balasa no nitong Signal HD different from what they started with yesterday. Gonzaga, Tubino, Malaluan, Villarreal, Bautista, Gonzalez with Nunag as their libero for the Philippine Army. Again, if you're looking for your first win, you have to get a good start. Yun yung kailangan pang buo ng kumpiyansa nitong Lady Troopers.
And that's the reason why they're going with the exact starters that they had in the past couple of games as compared nga dito sa Signal, going with a different starting 6.
As you said, Denise, no, blocking was important to the cause ng koponan ng Signal HD in their last game, and that is how they get their first point. So Jel Cayuna will continue to serve here for the Signal HD Spikers, looking for their third win. Para wala nang duda, wala, sigurado na napapasok sila sa susunod na stage ng ating laban. Fernandez will send it across. That's a good hit. Coming from Royce Tubino, pero nahabol pa dito. Makandili, Katindig will send it across. Sa kabila naman sila pumunta. Tubino still there. Fernandez will hit it. Pero may depensa sa likod ng Philippine Army. Good defense so far. Coming from Signal HD. Nabitin yung set na yon. But this rally will continue.
Fernandez gets a touch on the block. May butas. At yan na makakapuntos ang Philippine Army Lady Troopers.
Good eye on Gonzalez. You know, that's a typical move that setters would usually make, especially pag masyado ng mahaba yung rally. There will always be that donut hole in the middle.
Lut Malaluan serving now. And for Coach Shaq, the idea behind shuffling your starters is naglaro kahapon, may tiwala ka naman dun sa mga ibang players mo, so might as well get those fresh legs into the ball game early.
Well, aside from the fact that it's their third game in 3 days, they also have a game tomorrow.
Yep. Kasi ganyan po, no? Paminsan, it's the strength of the schedule. Araw-araw po tayong may laro, so the 5 teams will only get a 1-day break. Depende kung kailan matataon, di ba?
Yes.
You would hope that it's 2, a 1-day break, and then you play 2 more, but ganun talaga. Iba-ibang araw, yung breaks ng mga koponan. Oh, that was unfortunate dahil tatawid pero lalabas yung palo nitong si Bautista. Jackie Acuña serving now for the white shirts, the Signal HD Spikers. And we will have the women's tournament first. Tapos susundan yan ng men's tournament after we wrap things up. Fernandez with a good one.
Fernandez recognizing the block wasn't as stable, so just using all power to get that point.
So 4-2 is currently our score. Lamang po ng dalawang Signal HD Spikers. Kayuna picks it up. Oh, tumama na sa antena yon. Yun yung problema, no? Pag yung setter, yung may unang touch, so it scrambles offense a little bit. Usually, Denise, sino yung pupulot ng second ball if Kayuna picks up the first?
Usually, it's whoever's at the utility or the opposite side. Pero tama yung sinabi mo, no? Kasi everybody is taught the basics of setting, but it's the setter who knows exactly what the attackers want. Kaya dun medyo nagkakagulo-gulo.
Back-to-back points for the Lady Troopers as they've tied things up at 4. Yeah, that was just a perfectly run play in system for Signal HD. Fernandez naman will be serving. Susubukan dagdagan ng kanilang kalamangan dito at 5-4. Oh, that's way too long.
Kita mo na kagad when she released that ball, yung contact was way under it.
So this is exactly what you want if you're the Philippine Army Troopers. Diba? Hindi ka may iwan. Dikitan mo lang itong Signal HD. And they get a service ace, the first one of this matchup. That was Janet Villarreal getting the service ace. And they will taste the lead here, 6-5. Oh, ganda ng bagsak nitong si Kayuna.
Army here forgetting Jel Kayuna is a frontliner. Perfect height and speed for that 1-2 attack.
Wala talaga no? Wala man lang nakatalon to try and defend that. As we continue on with this first set, we are here all week long. Samahan niyo po kami dito sa Rizal Memorial Coliseum. Tickets are available at the gate. And this will be another service error. I believe that's the second for Signal HD. But you have to shake those off. early in this matchup. Cayuna. Goes to Molina. Slowed down by the blockers. Good chance to score here. Tubino picked up. Molina ulit. Soft touch. Good dive. Lady Troopers scrambling here. Pero tuloy-tuloy ang ating rally. And that will be a point for the Lady Troopers.
Double touch called on Doria. Tried to go for the block, but that ball crossed the net on her first touch.
2-point advantage for the Philippine Army Lady Troopers. 8-6 as we head into our first technical timeout. Reminding you that we also have a men's division dito po sa PNVF Champions League. Signal HD, PGJC Navy, Samoch Pin Doctor, CSB Blazers in Pool A, BNS, The Navigators, Air Force at Army naman sa Pool B. 8 teams at yan naman magsisimula this coming Sunday after we wrap up our women's competition. Again, tuloy-tuloy lang po yung laban dito sa Rizal Memorial Coliseum. Couple more game days in our pool stage before we proceed to the semifinals. Molina will try again. More power that time. Pero nababantayan siya eh. Did that cross?
Not over. Oh, it did. I don't know who they're calling the touch on. Either Cayuna or Doria.
So ayun na nga, mukhang nag-iisip si Coach Shaq. If he will issue a challenge, they decide against it.
Assistant coaches were signaling that they should. But
babawiin na lang daw sa ganito. But Molina again, they're able to score here. Good pick up for Fernandez. Sa likod naman sila atake. And there's a gap. Tumama na sa sahig. That's a point for Signal HD. So Denise, nakikita natin na babantayan itong si Ces Molina. So Cayuna activates another attacker.
As she should. Kahit na hindi masyadong bantay sarado yung mga frontliners mo, having that pipe attack option is always beneficial for your team.
Maganda yung mga receive itong Philippine Army Troopers. Kaya naman nakaka-opensa sila, no? Kahit papaano sa pagsisimula ng laban. Oh, that is a big hole in the defense sa likod ng Signal.
A lot of miscommunication there. Tramposo left in zone 1 when she was supposed to be sweeping at the back. Layo niya dun sa pwesto niya dapat.
Not even the strongest of hits. Sakto lang yung pwesto. Sa team captain, Gonzalez serving now. Oh, speed hit will not score for Molina. Oh, Malaluan will connect.
And the biggest problem for Signal right now is a lack of good reception. Kaya hindi sila maka-convert ng opensa, and Army is just taking advantage of that.
Maagang tatawag ng timeout si Coach Shaq. But it doesn't appear like he is all that interested in talking to his team right now.
You know, at one point kasi you just have to let the players talk it out because they know what's happening inside.
So dito lalabas no, yung leadership ng ibang miyembro ng koponan. How will they make the adjustments? Again, Coach Shaq, inupuan lang ang kanyang koponan. Letting them sort things out. sometimes that's all they need, no? Tigel. Okay, wait. Clean break. Okay, let's start again.
Hinga lang ng konti.
So, 4-point lead for the Philippine Army Lady Troopers. Coach Randy Pallorina. They are former players sa men's division naman, Spikers Turf. And that will connect for Acuna.
Good adjustment by Acuna. Set was a tag too high for her. Naabot pa din for that soft tip.
But a big majority ng mga sets nitong si Kayuna have gone to Molina, no? But yung porsyento when she goes to someone else, mas maganda dito sa first set. Good pick up there from Katindig. Oh, and that's back-to-back hits for Signal.
And you like that connection between Kayuna and Katindig. Maganda yung height, maganda yung speed, even the distance of that ball from the net allows her to get that kind of angle. Hindi makahabol ang depensa ng Army.
Good serve. Regalo na yan for Acuna. So after that timeout, Denise, 3 straight points.
And that's the reason why Coach Shaq is just sitting pretty, relaxing on his chair.
I believe he would prefer sitting pogi on.
Confirm ko mamaya. Gusto mo? Katabi lang naman natin.
That is hit under, kaya biglang tatabla. Itong Signal HD Spikers. 11 all after being down by as many as 4 points. Minsan din kasi, no, when it's not your usual starters, when you're going up against a team that does not have a win yet, there's a tendency to maybe feel a little overconfident coming into the match.
Usually, that tends to happen to the best of us. As in, kahit saan siguro or kahit anong liga or sport.
Pero yun nga, nakabawi naman agad. Even if they're still down by 1 at this moment, 12-11. Oh, that's a powerful hit from Royce Tubino.
Tubino there. Squeeze through the block. Finding that gap between the two blockers. Down zone 5.
Pero service error naman ang sinauli sa kanila ni Lut Malaluan. 12 serving 13 now. Molina will be doing the honors.
Serving for Signal, Cesc Molina.
Molina, good serve. Katindig was there. Kayuna sets it up. Good play. Good play for Signal HD. As Acuna showing us na pwede rin siya maging isa sa mga main threats in this matchup. She has scored in a good percentage in this first set, Denise. A sharp serve there from Cesc Molina. Combination play works out.
Royce Tubino, ever since she's been known to just have those cut shots, it doesn't have to be powerful, but look at her finding zone 4. Jack Janela standing on the defense.
Over reception nandyan. It was Jack Janela, but they could not scramble for one more pickup. Iba yung kumpiyansa, no, ng Philippine Army in this game versus Signal HD.
Well, they were up by as much as, what, 4 points? Yeah. Not too long ago. Up by 2 again right now.
Chance ball para sa Philippine Army. Kayuna with the underhand set. Tinawid ni Molina. Oh, that's a nice one. Pero nandyan pa rin yung depensa nitong si Cesc. Great effort on both ends. Jonella sets it up. Fernandez, tatawid na lang. Good little rally here. A cross-court hit, won't score just yet. Counter-attack for Signal. That is touched.
Here they.
So di kita ng ating labanan. Isa lang po ang lamang ng Philippine Army Lady Troopers. As I think Kasugod will be seeing action in just a little bit for Signal HD. Oh, that's too wide. Coming from Tubino. Again, it all changed after that timeout requested by Coach Shaq. Biglang gumanda ang takbo ng kanilang upunan. Now they can attempt to retake the lead. Oh, that's an ace from Acuna. And that will deliver us to our second technical timeout of our opening set. It is 16-15, a 1-point lead for the Signal HD Spikers, looking for a way to stay undefeated. We welcome you back to our coverage of the PNVF Champions League dito po sa loob ng Rizal Memorial Coliseum. Carlo Pamintuan and Denise Tan on the call. And if you're in the area, pwede pa namang humabol. Join us here inside our venue to enjoy the action between Signal HD and the Philippine Army in the women's division. They will also have their male counterparts seeing action starting this Sunday dito pa rin po sa Rizal. As Acuna, difference maker here in the first set. Another ace. That's back-to-back.
Signal now making up for those service errors they got in the early part of the first set.
Kumalma na, no? Yung opensa nitong Signal HD. As they have a 2-point lead as of the moment. Nakalusot. Itong si Audrey Paran against two defenders at that.
Well, take a look at the defense here of Signal. Hindi sarado eh. Yung block nila. That's why Paran was able to get it through.
So Cayuna with the effort there to save it. And it results to a point for Doria. Muntik na maging over-reception, Denise, no? Pero si Cayuna nasungkit pa. Kaya hindi agad naka-react yung depensa ng Philippine Army Lady Troopers. C and Basas check into this matchup. Fernandez and Cayuna will take a break. Giselle C hoping to extend their advantage, which now stands at 2 points. So Gonzaga also in the matchup. Siya ang tatayong kapitana sa sahig ngayon. Otro also nabitin doon eh, no? Hindi niya naiangat na maayos.
Nag-ano siya, nag-alangan. She didn't know if she was supposed to touch that ball.
At wala na ring malapit sa kanya to try and keep that ball alive. 18-17. favor of Signal. Oh, tough angle. Very difficult angle for Parana. She touches the antenna. Denise, normally when you're caught at that kind of angle, what do you do just to keep it in play?
Honestly, it depends on the situation. But if it's such an overset, parang the next best thing, I guess, is to just do an overpass or try to set the ball over the net. Kasi you're gonna have to have a really sharp cut to get it over.
Oh, that touches the line for Doria. Back to a nice little advantage of 3 points for Signal HD, and that will force the hand of Coach Randy Pallorina to call a timeout. Tatlo ang abante ng Signal HD. Let's listen in.
Okay na yun. So ngayon, bago naman tayo, ha? Pasa muna tayo na maayos. Ha? Let's go. Kaya naman eh. Okay, bawi tayo, bawi! Let's go.
2017 in favor of the Signal HD Spikers. So that's a 7-point turnaround, down by as many as 4 earlier. Now protecting this advantage. And they won their first game against Cherry Tigo. 3-0. 3-1 naman against Petrogas. That's a good hit for Gonzaga. Di na umabot yung double block. They had to veer too far to that side. Di na napigilan itong si Gonzaga. Molina with a soft touch, and that will score. Philippine Army nanghihinayang. Kala nila, pwede pa. Pero mukhang tumama na talaga din. Mukhang tumalbog na.
But you know what? All throughout the first set, parang yun yung naging Achilles heel nitong Army. When Signal goes for those off-speed o yung mga soft tip over the net, pag nababago yung tempo, dun sila nahihirapan dumepensa.
Oh, nabitin yung set. Kaya hindi na natawid ni Malaluan. Aangat sa 4 ang abante ng Signal HD Spikers, 22-18. Oh, good dive from C just to keep it alive. Good defense once again for Signal. Molina, soft touch. Ayan na naman. Yung sinabi mo kanina, Denise, yung mga drops.
Yes. Specifically for Ces Molina, alam niya kasi, when you look at the defense of Army, umaatras sila eh. Nobody's guarding that short ball. Even that, look at the players. Zone 1, Zone 6, and even Zone 4.
So tanong dito, kaya pa ba dumikit nitong Philippine Army Lady Troopers? As this is their biggest deficit of the set so far at 5 points, 23-18. Di pa natin nakikita no, yung mga leading scorers nila from the last game. In Gandler and Meneses. So far, no need for them to play just yet. Ginawa na lang ng paraan itong si Jovelyn Gonzaga. You know that I think she's being bothered by something. No?
I was gonna say nga eh. I wonder if she's nursing something because you can see it from her expression every time she does get that ball. na parang iba yung galaw ni Jove.
Not as explosive, no? Itong si Gonzaga as there's net touch kontra sa Signal HD.
That was called on Signal. Yes, okay.
Yep, so back-to-back points for the Troopers. Timeout naman for Signal. Let's listen into their huddle.
Dali na, pwede mong bigay ha. Pasa mo na ito maganda. Sakali tayo naman. Sa anak ko, sir ha.
23-20 is the count now. Dumidikit kahit papano itong Philippine Army Lady Troopers. Still down by 3 though, 23-20 as we thank you once again for joining us. This is the PNVF Champions League. Day 3 of our competitions. Third straight day of playing for both these squads. Now that will not cross for Bautista.
Another miscommunication between Gonzalez and Bautista. Bautista not necessarily getting the height that she wanted and the play that she wanted. So out of place talaga yung take-off niya.
Double substitution ulit. Casas and C head out. Cayuna, their starting setter, will now serve for the first set. Good serve mula kay Cayuna. Katindig gets to it. Itatawid ni Cayuna. And this rally will continue. One more try. Oh, soft touch naman. Iba na yung atake nitong si Royce Tubino. Belio papasok for Ludes Malaluan as their server right now. Yan, nasa set point na po tayo for Signal HD 24-21. Pumunta kay Molina, scores, and that'll be the end of our first set. So a nervous start for the Signal HD. Overcame it. And they pick up the first set, 25-21. Philippine Army Troopers, they have some positives to build on, pero may mga adjustments na kailangan gawin as we head into this quick break. Second set when we come back.